Hey, what's up? So today we're going to talk about narcissists. Narcissists. Okay, whatever. They're like, I'm calling them emotional vampires. Okay, so they are like those kind of people who are like the toxic people in our life. And it's going to be a little interesting to see, like, some of the books that talk about this stuff. So, welcome to the Mohit Impact. This thing is my flag, and I'm gonna go into talk about narcissists and emotional vampires. Let's go. Right. So the book I'm gonna be talking about today is called Malignant Self Love by Sam Van Vaknin. Yeah. So how this is gonna work is I'm gonna like put myself in this corner of the screen, and let's just explore what's this all about. So there are some very interesting quotes here. Uh, Often, narcissists believe that other people are faking it, leveraging emotional displays to achieve a goal. He is convinced that their ostensible feelings are grounded in ulterior, non emotional motives. Faced with other people's genuine emotions, the narcissist becomes suspicious and embarrassed. He feels compelled to avoid emotion tinged situations, or worse, experiences surges of almost uncontrollable aggression in the presence of expressed sentiments. They remind him how imperfect he is, and how poorly equipped. So now here's a quote about how to deal with, if your partner, seems to be a narcissist. Here lies the partner's salvation. If you, as his intimate, wish to sever your relationship with the narcissist, stop providing him what he needs. Do not adore, admire, approve, applaud, or confirm anything he does or says. Disagree with his views, belittle him, reduce him to size, compare him to others, tell him he's not unique, criticize him, give unsolicited advice, and offer him help. In short, deprive him of the grandiose and fantastic illusions which hold his personality together. The narcissist is a delicately attuned piece of equipment. With the first sign of danger to his inflated false self, he will quit and disappear on you. So these are like interesting ways to cope with, like, strategies to how to maintain with the narcissist. And it is like, something interesting here I want to point out is about the grandiose and fantastic illusions of the narcissist. So it depends. Okay, like sometimes these there was a point when I was reading Steve Jobs' biography that his first wife, Steve Jobs' first wife, was talking about how Steve Jobs is a bit of a narcissist. He has like this thing called the reality distortion field, and he is also somebody who has these grandiose, fantastic illusions sort of thing. When he his reality distortion field is basically when you're around with Steve Jobs, like he makes you believe that, oh, you can do anything. I mean, it's like a reverse of a narcissist, I feel, because I don't think Steve Jobs would be considered a narcissist, because I think, like, whenever people interacted with him, they felt they had the power to do whatever they wanted, empowered to, like, create these impossible things. And once they like stopped speaking to him, apparently like they couldn't sustain that effect. So it's almost like he's like a motivator. So I don't think so. I came to read this because I wanted to see, like, what is the main distinction between like a narcissist and somebody like Steve Jobs. And this is something which I found very interesting. Check this out. Like, forcing a child into adult pursuit is one of the subtlest varieties of soul murder. Very often, we find that the narcissist was deprived of his childhood. So, consider the gifted child, the Wunderkind, basically the Wonder Kid in German. The answer to his mother's prayers and the salve to her frustrations. The Wunderkind narcissist refuses to grow up. In his mind, his tender age formed an integral part of the precocious miracle that he once was. One looks much less phenomenal, and one's exploits and achievements are much less awe-inspiring at the age of 40 than the age of 4. Better stay young forever and thus secure an interminable stream of narcissistic supply. So, the narcissist adores all adult skills and chores. He never takes out a driver's license, he does not have children, he rarely has sex, he never settles down in one place, he rejects intimacy. In short, he renounces adulthood. Absent adult skills, he assumes no adult responsibility. He expects indulgence from others. Okay, that's a very dismal view of the life of a narcissist. In the narcissist world, being accepted or cared for, not to mention loved, is a foreign language. It is meaningless or even repellent. One might recite the most delicate haiku in Japanese, and it would still remain utterly meaningless to a non-speaker of Japanese. This does not diminish the value of the haiku or the Japanese language. Needless to say, but it means nothing to the non speaker. Narcissists damage and hurt, but they do so offhandedly and naturally, as an afterthought. They are aware of what they're doing to others, but they do not care. So, and if you guys wanted to know what was the origin of the word narcissist, is this the mythological Narcissus rejected the advances of the nymph Echo and was punished by the goddess Nemesis. He was consigned to pine away as he fell in love with his own reflection, exactly as Echo had pined for him. How apt! Narcissists are punished by echoes and reflections of their problematic personalities up to this very day. Narcissists are said to be in love with themselves, but this is a fallacy. Narcissist is not in love with himself, he is in love with his reflection. There's a major difference between one's true self and reflected self. And one more is abusers blame the world, circumstances, other people for their defeats, misfortune, misconduct, and failures. The abuser firmly believes that his life is swayed by currents and persons over which he has no influence whatsoever. He has an external locus of control. But there are even subtle variants of this psychological defense mechanism. Not infrequently, an abuser will say, I made a mistake because I'm stupid, implying that his deficiencies and inadequacy are things he cannot help having and cannot change. This is also an alloplastic defense because it abrogates responsibility. Many abusers exclaim, I misbehaved because I completely lost my temper. On the surface, this appears to be an autoplastic defense with the abuser assuming responsibility for his misconduct, but it could be interpreted as an alloplastic defense depending on whether the abuser believes that he can control his temper. Okay, let me just check what alloplastic even means. Uh, Molding or molded by external factors as environment. Okay, interesting. Alloplastic meaning. Yeah. Well, that's it for my content for today. I'll be coming up with more stuff on the way, and let's see how we uh, how I'm gonna grow my YouTube channel.